So I wanted to update you guys on this week. It was amazing. We celebrated our grandpa's 90th birthday, and boy oh boy is it so cool to see who shows up for your birthday, whether it's your long lost friends, whether it's people you've helped in life, whether it's just people who are in your daily life. It's just kind of cool to see who shows up at your birthday party. And mind you, my bro is 90 years old, and I got to be the MC for the event that day. It was crazy, it was hectic, it was filled with a lot of anxiety or tension of just speaking in front of people, but it was an excited anxiety. It wasn't a scared anxiety. It was just oh, I'm excited to plan it. I want my plan to go as well as I planned it. Yeah, I want my plan to go as well as I planned it. No, I want my plan to come out the way that I imagined in my head. That's where I was going. But yeah, the party was great. It was more of people going up there and telling how he impacted their lives, or telling how much of an inspiration he was. But yeah, it was just kind of cool to see, and it's just kind of cool because you get to see that even the most smallest interactions that you think are invaluable do mean something to somebody. And whether it's just you were just coworkers for 3 months, or whether it's you were coworkers for 5 years, you were church friends, whether you were school friends, whatever it is, it's just cool to see what your role is in a person's life. And sometimes you're unaware of what your role is in somebody's life, but it's cool to see in one person's story, you could be their superhero, you could be the reason why they did something, and then in another person's story, you are a villain. But in a weird way, it doesn't define who you are, because you are seen or put into their story because of their perspective. Say if I meet somebody on the bus and he was just rude that day, just that day alone, I can define him as if I ever see that man again, he was such a rude human being. But then what if he was just being rude because he needed to get to the hospital to help out his daughter? But then in the eyes of his daughter, he is a superhero. So that's what I'm saying. Everything is so much about perspective. But yeah, going back to the topic of my grandpa's birthday, yes, I was MC. We cut a cake. The cake was spectacular. It was from Oak Mill Bakery. They did a little raspberry center. They had a little chocolate mousse. Around the cake, they had this light, fluffy buttermilk cream thing, creme fraiche, whatever the thing is that you put on the outside of the cake. It was so light. You know how some of the cakes that we get let's say from Walmart or something, the cream on the outside is thick, it tastes so sugary, you just literally, you don't want to eat it at all, period. But this cake was light, it was fluffy, it was just the perfect amount of sweetness where you're I could eat 10 slices, it's just not calories at all. Diabetes, who? Sugar levels, what? No. But yeah, you could totally eat a whole bunch of slices. I loved it. I would just eat the raspberry part if that was an option, but it's not. And then on the top of the cake, they put these little curly shavings of white chocolate and milk chocolate mixed into a roll, and then it sits there a cute little spirals on the top. That part was great too. And then it's a really good combination with the raspberry, with the chocolate mousse, with the vanilla little buttercream thing on the outside. That part was really good. It was quite big. My mom bought it to where it's not personal size. It's probably the size of a pizza, to be honest. A nice, regular, what you think in your head pizza, 12-inch round circle cake. It was really good. And then it was me, it was my younger cousin who was hosting, and then my other younger cousin. So it was cool. It was one person did planning, and then it was cool to tell them, hey, you're next to go introduce this person, and you're next to go introduce this person. And it's cool to kind of see them be in their own element too, or to push them out of their comfort zone too. So it's say if one of them is confident, they can go up and say it, and then one of them is nervous. Even that nervous person or that confident person, both are learning something. And yeah, in the beginning, when I introduced like, hey you guys, thank you guys for coming out to my grandpa's 90th party, I said a little something. Did it kind of trail off into nowhere because I didn't write it down on paper? Yes, but I know if I wrote it on paper, I would genuinely sound so robotic. So I was like, I'm just gonna wing it from my head. Like, I've known my grandpa for a decent amount of years. I should be able to speak on him with a little bit of something. So I was like, I'm gonna wing it, and I think I did pretty good. It came from the heart. I was like, should I stick to like regular, like talk about a person, like a structure, like you know what I mean? Like, you know, when you do an essay, it's like, okay, heading, it's intro paragraph, it's paragraph 1, 2, 3, and then conclusion. But I was just like, I'm not gonna stick to any structure. I talked about him like the way I would talk to him too. But yeah, and then just like opening up to people, like, oh, what was that sound? Just opening up to people in the way that I speak to, because sometimes like when I'm on the phone or when you're applying for a job, you're speaking very formal, but in front of them I was just speaking like how I do now, where it's like, my grandpa's pretty awesome. I love seeing his relationship with my grandma. They've stuck it through some hard times, and hard times, it doesn't even mean like, oh, like economy problems like nowadays couples and then you like separate. No, this was like they were doing missionary work. They were in the deep trenches of jungles. They were in this situation. They weren't financially well set off. So yeah, just like watching them make it through really what marriage says of like a thick and thin sort of situation, that's kind of inspiring. So I let people know that. And then what else? We had a whole bunch of speeches, and then we had our priest come out and he said a couple of words about my grandpa too, and that was cool. And the best part of the night was honestly when my grandpa's like 96-year-old best friend came out onto the stage and was talking. And I kid you not, he spoke with such, like, if I was just to hear his voice, you could not tell. And because I'm close to him, I feel like I can say it too. But like, you cannot tell, dude is 96. Like, he spoke with such strength, spoke with such power, and it was good to see because he described things about my grandpa's personality and then things about what he's accomplished, and then integrated together on like how we are as friends too. So that part was really cool to see. And yeah, for the food, we did chicken biryani, and then we had salad. We had a little bit of pickle. These are all Indian dishes, by the way. And then we had like an appam, and then we had like veggie curry for the people who are vegetarians there. So we offered that. And then for dessert, there was paisam, and then there was obviously like a couple slices of the cake. Not a couple, because like we put aside a little bit just for the families to take home, because sometimes, you know, when you bring things to the event, the people hosting it don't get any. So we told our mom and my aunt, I was just like, before you cut the cakes, for everybody who's there, I love them and I love that they're there too, but just put aside like 2 slices just so we can take it home and we can taste it too. So, but yeah, we passed that out to the people. And then there was candies. There was cute like little writing stations where you can write something cute about our grandpa and put your name behind it. That was actually my sister's idea. That was really cute. And then it was like you write something sweet, and then next to it was like a little bowl of candy. And you know, candy is sweet, so hence. But yeah. And yeah, it was just a good night. It was cool to see who shows up, and it's cool to see what your value is in their life. And sometimes it's not monetary, sometimes it's not something you could quantify. It's just she was there when she was there, and the quality of an interaction is huge. So yeah, just wanted to brain dump about that experience. It was great. We set up everything the night before. It was crazy. It was hectic, that part, because it was like put out circle tables, rectangle tables, get the table covers on them, put the cute little center decoration, and then we have to make sure the catering comes on the correct time. The decorations were already there. And then what else? Yeah, everything else we did the night before. And then we did the takedown too, and this all happened, setup, the event, breakdown, all, I swear, like maybe 24 to like 30 hours. This all like boom, boom, like we set it up and then we went home. Mind you, when we set up, we stayed there till like 1 or 2, which was cool to be inside a church or inside a huge event hall space when it's like late at night and nobody's in there, or it's like a space that where people come to often, and then to not see people there at night. So that was cool. And yeah, I think I'm gonna go watch Ultimatum with my sister and my mom. And oh no, sorry, not Ultimatum. We're watching Married at First Sight, and this season is pretty cool. So if you need a new show to binge watch and discuss with your family, that is a show to watch. Because sometimes you're like, damn, the couples, like where do these producers find these people? But at the same time, I'm like, if you put me on those shows, I don't know how I would be or how I'd react, but I'm just like, it just can't be like this. But yeah, we did watch Ultimatum too. That was really great. But I love you guys. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for sitting along with me in my brain dump, for getting up close and personal. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to do my eyebrows a little bit. But yes, have a great day. Like, share, subscribe, and